There's no way I'm good for business.
Thank you very much, Dracos. Welcome to the Caster Desk. I'm still Quickshot, and I'm joined by Deficio and Foxdrop. Gentlemen, welcome to the desk.
Thank you very much. We have a Wukong mid lane.
And that Wukong mid lane, ladies and gentlemen, is the first professional Wukong in the 2018 season worldwide. It is the second professional Wukong in 2 years. Only once was it played on the planet in professional gaming last year. That is a fantastic quick stat to start it out. Stats team, did it win? Foxdrop, will it win today?
Oh, that's a really tough question. I feel like if you pick something like Wukong, you have a huge amount of confidence, and so maybe.
Let's see the level 1 here. Alphari is hiding in the brush.
Dun 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 dun!
Oh, don't go that way!
Gets run into Fnatic. The shenanigans are up. He holds on to first blood, and Broxah picks it up.
That's such a good level 1 because the guys on top side are hiding out of vision. He doesn't know. He's like, oh, I'm just going to walk back towards my turret. I'm going to be fine. But bam, there's 3 people, ton of CC. No summoners even used by Fnatic picking up first blood.
They were in between Alphari and his escape path as well. Really, really cheeky. What is it about Fnatic's and cheeky level 1 strategies? I feel like I've seen something like this before.
They definitely spend a lot of time preparing them, that's for sure. Now, the Wukong mid lane, of course, that's the big story of the game here. They gave away a surprising first pick Yasuo. I didn't think it was just going to be locked in instantly for Sencooks, but the Wukong, I think it's going to be lethality. It's like from solo queue, what a lot of people do, but it's of course the like Black Cleaver as a build you can go towards as well. But this should be, I'm going to one-shot you Wukong.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it was anything but. And talk about confidence, the Wukong pick, like I mentioned. First pick, blind picking at Yasuo, Sencooks into Caps. I mean, that's a statement if ever I saw one.
It really is, and it's not only just Sencooks, but it's Sencooks Yasuo, which is undefeated this spring, along with Alphari's Mundo, undefeated this spring, 5-0, 4-0. Look at those stats, guys. I mean, it is the 9-0 Misfits, so of course they're going to have some phenomenal performances, and that maybe is why Fnatic and Caps are pulling out the shenanigans. Hylissang's going to get jumped on and dunked down. A lot of damage coming out, dropped to 100 HP and forced away from lane.
So for the traditional AD carry bot lane from Misfits, getting the upper hand, Whippo, Hylissang, of course, losing the race for level 2, which was the big advantage. Mickey will do the classic thing. You put a deep ward in towards the enemy, or at least you check it. You apparently do not want to put your ward down.
You just, in case you did want to put your ward down, he's scouting the area to see whether or not it was prime real estate for the ward, decides against it. But even if Rise gets a little bit chunked out in this early lane phase, he's not going to mind too much because his eyes are going to be on that early tier. So you just get a little bit of gold, and then you can nip back to shop, get your tier, come back in, no problem.
And of course, you guys at home, spam in chat who you think is going to win. MSF for Misfits or FNC for Fnatic. We'll take a look at your results in a moment or two. In Fnatic, they got that early first blood, got it onto Broxah. He's picking up a Risk Scuttler for now. And I guess we keep looking towards Caps in this middle lane, just waiting to see what he's going to do. I like watching his movement because he keeps stopping, like faking out as if he's done a decoy or not, and just playing mind games with Sencooks.
Also, we have to remember the wind wall is effectively useless in this matchup here for Sencooks. There was a little clone coming in from Cap, so I'm waiting for Broxah to get close to the mid lane and commit to the play with Caps. You can wait for level 6, and it's going to be really hard to escape. Like, the cleanse is not really going to help you then if you're Sencooks.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. I feel like this is most likely going to be not too much pre-6, but then as soon as that level 6 hits, Sejuani Ultimate, we know what that can do. But even from Wukong, with the Ignite as well, that's going to be a huge extra amount of damage coming through from Caps. And if he's looking to beat Sencooks in this 1v1, it will most likely come after maybe the straighted Dirk and his level 6.
Right, and if Maxwell tries to go in there, you will have the chance to escape as a Wukong every single time, as long as the W is available. Maxwell is topside instead. The Gragas getting pushed in a bit by Mundo. Mundo, of course, always doing well against the tanks in the top lane.
Not too bad, and if like we've seen 1,000 times in the LCS so far. If you want to try and shut him down a bit later on, you have to do it before this stopwatch comes online, because Mundo presses R, presses stopwatch, and he's unkillable.
I got a question for you. Who kills Mundo on this team? Because
Is the plan to kill Mundo, or is the plan to kill the back line?
Eventually, right?
I mean, yeah, eventually you're going to kill him when the enemy team has no carries left. I think the entire goal is, if Senkux jumps in, you have a ton of CC on Fnatic side, you can try and burst him, or you can just always send Wukong against Hansama. And he should be able to one-shot him, if he gets fed.
And of course, talking about that, Caps yesterday on that Irelia broke so many records. Just to get a skew on Mickey, just interrupt him. But yeah, that Caps performance yesterday, he picked himself 4 solo kills. He went, what was it, 15, I think 0 and 3 along those lines. And definitely just playing out of his mind. If he can channel that level of impact, that level of ability and performance, that's obviously how this Wukong can pick up. By the way, both of these guys getting close to level 6, and I'm still just waiting for the all-in. I'm just waiting for somebody to get burst down. I know we're looking for those junglers to get involved, though.
I think it's going to be a case of the junglers, because both of these junglers have great setups for their mid laners. Maxwell with that pillar that can activate the Yasuo ulti, and as I mentioned before, Broxah with his Glacial Prison 2, just to lock Senkux down. Even if it blows the cleanse, so much damage from Caps might mean that it's enough still.
Yeah, I'm quite happy we have a bit of build-up. It's not just like a level 2 all-in from Caps and he dies or something and the Wukong just sucks. Like, it is get level 6, you know, go back, get your first item, preferably some lethality, or maybe a Tiamat, and then just go for a mid lane fight.
And you can already see Hylissang roaming. I mean, this is the opposite of what happened last time. Like, Misfits really beat Fnatic pretty hard last time they played. It was the final comp as well. And it looked like Fnatic weren't necessarily
It was the
really comfortable with that one.
Janna bot lane versus Draven from Hansama, and Draven got like 3 early kills.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was never really
Fnatic lost so badly that Reckless benched himself.
Yeah,
that weekend,
effectively, yeah.
right? And I know I'm saying that for dramatic effect, right? But it was one of the elements that led it. You can see that gold graph again, 15K. And we keep this anticipation building. Gentlemen, I know we said a lot about mid lane and we're expecting that, but which team will be successful in their first play? Foxtrot, we'll throw to you first.
I actually have faith in the Wukong. It's gonna make some ridiculous play, absolute bananas, and pop off.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like now all the hype is around the Wukong, so that's kind of the one everyone is hoping for. I think like right now, if it is a pure all-in, Caps will have more damage than Senkux, so I think it's a pretty good bet to go with him. Broxah obviously.
I'm sensing hesitation here, mate.
I mean, I just feel like because we have not seen a Wukong mid lane like ever in professional play, there's always this risk.
Hold on. I don't want to say ever. That's not fair.
Fine,
okay? Because last year in 2017 for GCU in the North American Challenger Series, that Wukong lost, okay? And the last time it was played in EU LCS was in 2015. Frederick played it in a UOL versus Giants gaming. And
that's
it was a
an
win.
old name.
It is indeed very old name. But that means professional play that at least on the records I have, it's 1-1. And this is the decider. Now it's
But was that mid lane or was that jungle Wukong?
It was jungle.
It was El Bandito.
I don't know what NACS was, unfortunately. But it's nice when you see the first professional champion in any league, and it's in the hands of Caps, one of the best players on the planet. So I think it's fair to have high expectations, Officio.
I mean, we should. Caps kind of teased this yesterday in the interview. He said we have something special prepared against Misfits. It already made me scared when I had my prediction, because I was like, ooh, what's this? You know, Caps plays everything. He's going to have some kind of cheese pig ready.
An early dragon going down, slight advantage to Fnatic, but I don't think either of these teams really care about the first dragon of the game. It's something, don't get me wrong, but with both these teams, with what's on the line, with honestly, arguably the 2 best teams in form of the EU LCS right now, there's so much more at stake than just that first dragon.
I agree with the informed Fnatic if they win early game. If they lose early game, it's pretty rough, because again, they just keep trying to force plays, and when you are behind with full bruiser comms, you don't often have great wave clear. You know, it's very quickly that it gets tough. He did bring a Tiamat. He's going to E-Tiamat that backline, and then he's going to W away. That's your wave clear right there.
We've already seen a Tiamat double kill in the LCS in summer so far. I mean, hey, and this time we're more likely to see it. Maybe even a triple kill. If anyone can do it, it'll be Caps.
Look, the thing is, this dragon is the only thing that separates the teams. We're approaching 10 minutes. We're basically bang on even. The gold, the first blood, just marginally ahead for Fnatic, but they're the ones in trouble. Flash from Whippo. Hylissang's going to jump forward as well, thanks to that Phantom Undertow. Summer takes down Whippo. Mickey and Maxlor flashing forward. The coding is being channeled. Hylissang's running for his life. Double kill, Summer.
All the hype around the Wukong mid lane, and then the first blood is down in the bottom lane. Sorry, the second blood is down in the bottom lane for Misfits. Once again, they're playing around Sama on the traditional AD carry. Great setup with Pillar plus Braum around the mid lane, though Caps not able to get in range. I think Senkux, he got the message. My team is bot lane. They're probably coming for me mid.
Quite possibly, and we're going to see it again here. And your MVP candidate for the mid split, Mr.
Oh, look at that
Maxlor.
Pillar.
There he is, setting it up with that Pillar. And just not too much you can do. This is a low mobility bot lane as far as Rise with his capacity to escape aggressive plays. And when you have Braum doing Braum things, you're screwed.
What I like, the two plays that we have seen, the cheeky level 1 from Fnatic and now a great gank from Misfits. They're just well executed, clean, play. You know, they played the map and their opponents well. And that's what I'm trying to allude to. But we're still even. It is still such a close game. And these next few skirmishes and engages, once we start playing around the map and opening it up, that's what's going to determine who takes charge.
It also really sucks for Fnatic's bot lane because they had actually warded everything in the river. They felt like they had pretty much control of the bottom side. Maxlor just snuck in the lane brush. Like, easy setup for him. Because they have so much CC with the Braum, it was enough, as you highlighted there, Foxdrop, like the Rise can't really get away the moment he's already flashed.
And for me, the worst thing about that play for Fnatic was as that play was going down, Broxah was just clearing the chickens on his side of the jungle. It's not like they were able to match it on the other side of the map or really get anything back with the fact that Maxlor had shown bot side.
And what we normally see now when Misfits is winning bot lane is they push in the lane, Maxlor joins them on the bottom side, they start invading the bot side jungle and also start putting pressure around mid because you never know if are they going to show up behind me if I'm fighting. You know, you suddenly lose the ability to play aggressive on one side just because Sama and Mickey is winning their lane. Meanwhile, top is just a tank matchup. It's hard at this point to go tower dive the Mundo. You already highlighted the stopwatch. It's there.
He's got Visage now as well. That ain't happening.
Yeah, look at the rest of the items. Blade of the Ruin King completed for Summer. A couple of stopwatches also picked up. Mickey, Hylissang, Alphari we've already talked about. So we're still continuing to scale up in the itemization, something that I didn't necessarily call out. 3 teleports on the side of Misfits, Alphari, Summer, and Mickey, all of them available. So keeping my eyes on as and when Misfits decide to use those. And Fnatic, they're just challenging that vision. Initially, Fnatic had control. The observers highlighted it. Misfits challenged, and now it's kind of that rebuttal. But there's still a couple of Misfits wards in Fnatic's jungle.
And we have to remember if Maxlor ends up returning to the bot lane, there is no flash on Whipple. Like, he's effectively a free kill for him. He's not going to be able to just walk down the river due to the wards, but another lane gank is quite possible. Senkux is playing passive because he knows he's actually the target. Like, Snowball Wukong is the objective for Fnatic.
Right. But what do you reckon are the chances of Maxlor showing mid lane to get a push in and then a cheeky little 4-man roam in the bot side?
Can definitely do it. I mean, kill the wards. Here's Mickey and Maxlor together. It's the combination they always use. And what you just talked about, get down these wards in. Now, suddenly, you can actually walk down the river.
And if you are Fnatic, this is...
You're going to take it back.
Right. The alarm bells are ringing here. Let's protect our side of the jungle so that we don't fall victim to a play like that.
It's what the pro teams call tempo. It doesn't really make a lot of sense because it's not about playing fast or anything. It's actually like, hey, I now have the advantage, so I go in and kill your wards and look for a fight. Then it's the other team's turn where you leave the area.
Well, right now, Fnatic are trying to leave the area. Steel Tempest comes out just short. Caps doesn't pull the trigger on that Cyclone, but God, I wanted him to. Didn't look for the engage. Again, so nervous and tense.
Forest actually cancel his TP. Source fully channeled his, so he's going to be on a long cooldown. He's going to lose the entire wave top. He's on his way back now, but nothing gained for Fnatic. Let's see, flash issues? Nope, all of Misfits actually just end up walking out.
That's a little bit tragic if you're going to dedicate your first teleport to that. But we're starting to see a little bit of Fnatic here going for slightly more aggressive... Oh!
Trade of ultimates. I held my breath there, Foxtrap. I wasn't sure if Broxah was going to come over the wall. Possibility still there, but needs the wind wall to die. Fantastic Steel Tempest. Senkux gets it out to save his life. Needs his flash to escape.
That was a quick one. He felt safe because of the wind wall, but Hylissang just walked through it, and then he hooked him over and knocked him behind it.
That's what I was gonna mention, that Fnatic start looking like they wanted to pull a trigger, and just as I was gonna say it, it happens.
First ulti from Caps, though, we're tracking this Wukong mid. Unsuccessful, was used defensively. He was under the turret, he got knocked up, he got ulted, and there was a TP coming, but he ended up just walking out of it. Rest of Misfits continue focusing around the bottom side and then invade that enemy jungle.
We've talked about the 1v1, kind of Senkux into Caps, the Yasuo into Wukong, but Wukong often gets Yumu's as that first lethality item so that you can, when you activate Beyblade mode, travel kind of further. And he's got tier 2 boots already. If that does turn into a Yumu's, what are the chances that it's not quite Wukong into Yasuo? Maybe he actually starts moving around a little bit more, and aim of the game wasn't to go to mid.
I mean, ideally, that's what you want to do if you're Caps, because like your composition has a lot of pick potential. You have a Pyke right there. You have, of course, Wukong, where we've all played solo queue, and we've seen the fed Wukong on the other side. He's never on your team. He's always on the other side. And he, out of nowhere, like W in, and then he just one-shots you. That's effectively what he wants to do. Duskblade will be in this build as well, just for the extra amount of burst damage coming on his side, but he needs to be able to actually get the items fast enough so that Misfits can't just group as 5 a lot earlier.
If you were to put a timer on it, when will you start getting nervous? Because Fnatic just got a second uncontested dragon, Ocean and Mountain for the Rift Herald. So creative objectives now, but as this game plays out, while the dragons may not be hugely impactful at this very moment, you know, they scale up, they make that Elder Dragon threat so much scarier. Wukong against towers is already difficult to deal with, and with mountains to back him up in that queue, he can melt towers when he gets close to them. So I'm going to go back to that question. When do you start getting worried about Wukong in the late game, Deficio? Like, you know, is he somebody that falls off, or is it just silly as long as he can get to Hans Sama, it's fine?
As long as he can get to Hans Sama, it is fine.
Yeah.
The problem is in team fights, once you get like Knight's Vow, you get LCS, these kind of defensive items that makes Hans Sama more tanky. And you're going to have the Exhaust Braum next to him as well. While there is a lot of AoE damage from a Wukong with his ult, it gets a lot harder to assassinate the target. It's always possible if Caps plays it really well. So I don't feel like there's a giant timer on him. It just gets harder and harder and harder for him to actually snowball.
And that's why these kind of champions are so effective in solo queue, but we haven't seen them in like 2 years in professional play. Just not because they are ineffective, but because it's so difficult to find your windows to get those opportunities where you can punish the enemies by catching them out of position.
Well, Caps was looking for a potential play on Senkux. Mickey, Maxwell were in the area. I keep looking at the vision. Still Misfits favored towards the bottom half of the map. It is a 500 gold game between the two teams. CS is about even across the board. It's only Caps with a marginal lead, and the engage is going to be on Whippo. Glacial Fisher comes out, but the Prison misses too. There's a little bit of a
Look mid lane.
comedy of errors. Hylissang's looking for the target. There goes the Cyclone into the dive. Senkux is ignited. Hilly's chasing him, using the dashes to go through, and Hylissang gets the kill. That's Fnatic evening it out.
In the end, they get it, and it's a mid lane turret going down. Senkux tried his best to stay alive. His team just invested everything bot lane, and they didn't even get a flash from the Rise. So this was a big play for Fnatic, exactly what they need to open up the map for Caps.
Not only did they not get something in that bot lane, they tried to sort of come mid to protect Caps or protect protect Senkux or that first tower, but they have the Rift Herald. If they'd actually decided to dedicate into the bot lane play even without the kill, maybe they get something out of that. But this is all started from the fact that this Wukong ulti completely negates Senkux's ability to get his ultimate off as well, which is actually a really good defensive tool because it gets your flow up, which is your shield.
And earlier in the game, we had all this chat about the control wards in the river, you know, who has the advantage now. It was actually Fnatic with the advantage. That's why Hylissang also could sneak his way into that mid lane unnoticed. I think Misfits were expecting him to be bot side because they were fighting there before. Then he shows up mid. Hylissang is fine. He doesn't really care about the pillar. Decent start here for Fnatic. Just super important for them to get the first turret mid.
Yeah, first tower blood secured. They've also got the dragons. They've got a 1,000 gold lead. And it's so good. The match of the week at 20 minutes on the clock is delivering. We've got really, really controlled, deliberate plays from both sides. And nobody yet clearly in control. Hans Sama, by the way, pushed top lane, trying to push that wave back. It's still only that single tower down. And Deficio, this might be the longest laning phase I've seen all summer.
It's over now. It's gone. Caps needs to start moving around. Hans Sama definitely does not want to find him. I think Senkux is in trouble.
Well, that's a pretty Goomba stomp onto Senkux. Very well played. And you know what? That's the pick comp that you guys were talking about earlier.
This is the second time now where they've managed to not only pick up a kill on Senkux, but everyone just appears at the same time to then get a tower too. It happened with Soaz on the first tower. Now it's happening for the second one, but the Rift Herald has been dropped. Not really to push the tower down, just probably because it was expiring. But it is something.
There's a problem for Misfits in this early game. They can't really control the mid lane anymore. They've lost both turrets there. Yeah, this guy in the bottom lane, he's going to stop the Rift Herald.
Yeah, exactly. So Rift Herald, somewhat of a waste in trade for that Ocean Drake.
Not somewhat, just a waste.
Okay, thank you. It is just a waste.
Yeah.
I was trying to be polite or nice. Just a quick heads up, by the way, if you are interested in watching Hylissang's POV, it is running on twitch.tv/RiotGames2. We're busy taking a look at Hylissang's point of view. He, of course, crucial in setting up that first kill for Caps. Caps has then been the center of focus for the last few minutes, and he's built himself up a 50 CS advantage. Got that Ghost Blade completed, BF Sword Pickaxe, and the Tiamat. So he is a pretty scary monkey that has allowed Fnatic to build up this 2.5 grand gold leads.
He is, yeah, exactly like you say, pretty blooming scary right now. And if the aim of the game was let's snowball Caps, which I mean it should have been if you picked the Wukong, Fnatic have absolutely been able to do that.
Oh, opportunistic play. Okay, judge my word usage, Officio. Opportunistic or desperate? Where on the scale?
Not desperate yet, but a bit of a tilter from Mickey. Really hoping Hylissang just walks straight into him. Casper has not even left mid yet. He just keeps pushing it. But this is kind of the thing for Misfits now. In order to stop falling further behind, those kind of plays when you're committing 3 to 4 players kind of needs to give you something. And it's not doing that right now.
All right, Caps is trying to find Maxlaw. Manages to use the Ghost Blade just to chase him down. Maxlaw throws down the Subjugate, but I think Ignite might just be enough. Death from below from Hylissang. Last breath comes out. Caps takes a lot of damage. Teleport's coming in. It's a fight on multiple fronts. We jump up to see Hans Summer flashing for his life. Manages to get the culling into Soaz, but it simply doesn't do enough. Mickey's down. Hans Summer's down. Caps is inside the base. He's looking for Senkux, but may be in a little bit of trouble. Continues to get chased down. No flash available. Couple of tower shots may be enough to take him down, but the Burning Agony will be enough to take out the last tick. The stopwatch used just to buy some time for Alphari and Fnatic. They fancy themselves a shot, but they don't follow further.
Oh, Fnatic, they just keep getting more kills here. Yeah, Misfits gets a little bit in the end, but killing Caps at this point didn't really do much for them. He's not the one getting all the kills on the side of Fnatic. They're still down 4k gold. They lost all those turrets and they've got nothing. This must be the first game Misfits have played all split long where they're not getting any turrets in the early game.
And Fnatic, if they get ahead early, they can absolutely take over a game. And you mentioned that as one of their win conditions for this game specifically. Before I finish my point, let's see how this all unraveled here. Getting a little bit greedy for the blue buff. As a jungler, I can definitely empathize. I ain't losing that blue, even if it costs my teams 4 kills. Fight on multiple fronts, as you said, Trevor. And as this is happening all up here, people are dying down below as well. And it's just, honestly, Misfits are a little far behind here. To really take a fight like this, a little bit split. And also the whole kind of team comp argument as well favors Fnatic in this situation.
They were not ready for this. Misfits ideally, mainly because this Yasuo is so far behind. Man, they need more time, but they're not getting it because Fnatic, they just continue playing aggressive and there's so many ways for them to start the fights. Gragas, Wukong, like Pyke, they have so many champions to just engage.
And not going to find the flash this time round, or the engage this time round. Mickey was able to jump over to Hans Summer. Fnatic, they've got themselves a 4k lead, and just like that, it feels like in a couple of moments, they pull ahead. Now, Bwipo, they need to use this tower to his advantage, getting run down by Alphari. He's using that sadism just to tick away, and Alphari's still not done, looking to chase further, and Bwipo, very good usage of that realm warp. He escapes with his life.
Source is on his way, but it's a double magic damage setup against Mundo, so it's not going to be easy to kill him.
Manages to cut off the escape, trying to force the flash, at very least. All right, Alphari, no ultimate, and I think that's exactly what Fnatic were hoping for.
It's something, but it's only something for right now, I think, Trevor. And the second item being completed from Caps here, you said he's going for the one-shot build. How about a Storm Razor? Something that literally gives your first hit a huge amount of thwunk.
It's just so much burst, upfront burst, EQ, ulti, like, man, you're just dead. Like, unless you are a tank. And there's only, right now, 2 tanks in the front for Misfits. I even think the Braum is too squishy to survive that full combo.
But even if you are a tank and you can survive, I mean, you're not really someone that Caps cares about anyway. He's
That's
not really
true.
looking at you.
He's probably not going to use it on you.
Right, he's looking at the other people, and thus far, if you are the other people on Summer or Senkux, you're in trouble.
It is important to highlight, though, it's not Caps doing this on his own.
Right.
It's him we talk about because he's on the Wukong. That's the exciting part. But it's Hylissang roaming mid, it's Broxah being mid lane. Source even went mid twice.
Yep.
When he actually talked about Gragas being back in the meta, he was like, this is great. I can start roaming mid again. You know, I can make plays around it. And he's been doing it multiple times already.
And exactly that's what's helping Fnatic out here. Senkux is looking for an opportunity. Not going to throw out that Q just yet. And quickly before this next engage, Broxah's going to dash away with that Glacial Assault. No follow-up, I keep holding my breath. Whippo's pooping top. Misfits, by the way, are behind. And this might be the first time all year long that they're going to be losing to Fnatic. They are 3-0 up against Fnatic. And they are 9-0 up in the Summer Split. Fnatic are poised to end those records. But Misfits, they're not stopping yet. Once again, a optimistic Glacial Fissure. And not finding his target to Fissure.
I mean, if you don't try, you're never going to hit anything. But Mickey has been very eager with some long-range ultis, not properly connecting. Notice the item build on Senkux.
Yeah, second item GA. Something tells me that this guy is a little bit fed up of dying, or the threat of dying, which is ironic because you think of Yasuo as someone who dies all the time.
Hey, this is a My Team Yasuo. What do you think of the GA? I want you to answer that in a moment or two. For now, Fnatic, Double Oceans and Mountain, they're on the Baron, and they've got themselves some very good vision control. Yeah. It doesn't look like Misfits can arrive in time. Maxlord doesn't have Flash available either. Soaz zones him away. Fnatic sneak Baron for nearly no cost.
Yeah, Misfits are just not ready to react on the map. They're not used to being in this situation where they're falling this far down early on. Fnatic in full control, and about that GA second, it looked very, very badass when he first picked the Yasuo. He was like, you know what, I'm going to take this against Caps.
A statement.
No problem. When he didn't build GA second,
yeah,
it feels that's cool.
It feels like if you're going for it, you got to go for it, you know. And this is sort of where it's dipped his pinky toe in the bath, realized it's too hot, and he's backing out.
Yeah, because in his situation, he's like, okay, I'm gonna get one shot. I'm behind. I need some way to do anything in a fight, and obviously, the entire combo from Fnatic is so much about the initial engage, and if you get past that with the GA, you might be able to do something, but it's not something that's going to win him the game now. And that's the problem. It's kind of, I'm trying to lose less by building GA second.
And of course, that's Yasuo was first pick, by the way. Very first pick for Misfits. And it's simply not paying off. The fan vote right now, obviously from spamming chat, is heavily in favor of Fnatic, but I have to call the fans out. They agreed with Deficio that Misfits were going to win this game. For the first time, the fan vote went against Fnatic, and Fnatic are stepping up to shut down all the haters. 6K gold up. Don't say I voted for them, because I did. And, and Fnatic are just poised to finish this game out.
I said in Reddit check, it scared me a lot that both me and the fans were like on the Misfits thing. That's why you smell that little upset from Fnatic.
What you should really be afraid is if I have the same prediction as you.
Didn't you also predict Misfits?
Well, I did, yes.
Oh, it's all gone wrong.
I think you should be pointing more towards me than the fans. But what's interesting about the way this game has gone so far, and Deficio pointed at it as well, is Misfits are not used to being this far behind at this point in the game. But not only that, they're playing versus this.
Oh, look at that damage! Caps destroys Hans Sama where he stands. Mickey's the next target. Realm War brings Whippo to the back end, and Maxlaw's now being chased. Alfari's come to the party. He was finally invited, but it's simply too little. It's simply too late. Deficio, I asked you 20 minutes ago about it, and he is the last man standing. Alfari's Mundo means nothing to Fnatic.
It's turned into a stomp now. Fnatic are just running over Misfits. They will get this top lane turret down. Let's see the death timers. 10 seconds on Ansama. He will be back to try and defend, but these Nexus turrets, they're squishy.
They really are. Take a look at Caps on this queue, by the way, chunking down Nexus turret number 1. Turns his attention to the second, while Hylissang's trying to interrupt. The Nexus tower is down. Mickey and Hamsan are doing what little they can. The Nexus tower is being dropped down. Fnatic defeat the undefeatable Misfits. Misfits.
They didn't just defeat them, they destroyed the undefeated Misfits. The Wukong in the mid lane was a smart pick here, but the fact that Fnatic played around Caps so well, that's what set it all up. It was the roams from Hylissang, it was the ganks from Broxa.
And it seems like it just took Misfits way by surprise that entire game. Not only was Fnatic so strong in the early game, but the way they transitioned their early lead into a victory here, Misfits haven't really been troubled that much yet, and I think we saw that in this game.
And it's not even like Misfits could complain about the early game if we consider the fact they got 2 kills bot lane, they got the Rift Held traded for an Ocean Drake, but that Rift Held was used to for absolutely nothing. And the mid lane, Sencux was playing passive for as long as possible, but I guess if you keep ganking that lane, eventually you're gonna get the kill.
Deficio, you could see the fear in Misfits' eyes when it came to decision-making. Some of those ultimates, some of those engages. It was not the same confident, proactive Misfits that went 9-0, and maybe the weight of the lead, the weight of the game, maybe it got to them. It's something we're definitely going to have to talk to Misfits about. And look, they're still 9-1 in the split. They're still the #1 squad in the standings.
Of course.
But for Fnatic, what a phenomenal performance.
And they get to deny the potential 18-0. Important for them, make sure it's only Fnatic who's achieved that so far.
What a game from Fnatic here, and I think with Misfits, the way they played and the way they reacted, you talked about kind of the Braum ultimates and that sliding scale of opportunistic to desperate.
Exactly.
As the game went on, I think we can see which way it went.
Well, look, in terms of scales, I'm going to blow the scale wide open. You got a replay brought to you by Ace Predator of that last engage by Fnatic. Now, this is a little bit unfair, but that's exactly what the Wukong has picked to do, obliterate Hansama.
Yeah, there's just no way of protecting Hansama at this point here. You don't have the defensive items you need to keep him alive. The Wukong has gotten all the items he needs. Storm Racer crit and everything.
And that second item, GA, does save Sencux's life, but only for about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was honestly a bit surprised. I don't think anyone was expecting this, probably least of all the Misfits squad, that not only were Fnatic beating them, but in the style that they were beating them. And then when Misfits thinking, wait, are we going to lose this game? They lost.
I was just really happy to see such a calm, collected, controlled Fnatic, because I wasn't expecting that.
Sure.
Listen, we have some player of the game candidates. You know the deal. Head to Twitter at LOL Esports. Only you can vote. So as Hylissang and Caps.
I would like the procs in there as well, but fine.
Why even make a vote? We know who's going to win this one. I mean, come on, right? Right?
He picked the Wukong, but I think this was a team effort to get the Wukong ahead.
So put the Fnatic logo there and vote for Fnatic for player of the game and really help our record keepers and stats team. Fnatic secured a big win in our match of the week. Empire is standing by with Wukong. Sorry, Caps.